some people do have really cool interviewing styles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Boosie's one of them. I mean, he does.
But I mean from
like
I'm like an interviewer standpoint. You know, like there's a reason why Joe Rogan is as big as he is.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's and certain people, Lex Friedman, you know, in that space, and you know, there are just reasons. Some people are just really, really good at it too.
I think that's one of the reasons I like Maja's podcast, because he does a great job of controlling the situation, but also staying out of the way. It's a good balance.
He does a good job.
The guests can talk. They can get their thoughts out and complete them. He's not jumping in every other sentence. He's not.
Are you talking about someone in particular?
No,
I mean, like if you just put a name on that thing, just go ahead and say Nori.
No, well, not just Nori, but Vlad is a trash interviewer to me as well.
No, I would no, he's not. It
I think he's trash.
It depends. No, he's not a trash.
He talks about himself more than the artist. Like he talks to himself during all the videos.
No, because it depends on who he's talking to and what he's talking about.
He's a good interrogationist.
There are people who I know people don't like him, but I remember you know who was an excellent interviewer, but doesn't get the credit for being a great interviewer was Arsenio Hall.
I was just
love Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio is an incredible. He was an incredible interviewer. You know, not just good, but he was great because he would talk to anybody from, you know, I don't know, the kid with the big tooth on a Parenthood to Louis Farrakhan or Dustin Hoffman. He could talk to all those people, and it makes sense. You know, Charlemagne is an excellent interviewer when he's not being interrupted by the other two hosts. Well, it's only just one host now, I think.
It's just him and Envy for now. They're rotating.
Like I was so glad when they got a chance to sit and talk to Arsenio Hall about that Trash Coming to America sequel. But when they actually, it wasn't Angela Yee and Envy weren't there. It was just him and Charlemagne. That was excellent content. You know, there are a lot of people who Larry King. He wasn't a great interviewer. I mean, I know it sounds crazy because he did it for so long. You know, it was partially his personality that made it better than it really was, because he was wildly unprepared a lot of times.
It worked.
But it worked. You know, so everyone has to find
part of the allure of that.
Yeah,
good point.
If you know,
good point.
Because there was one time he was interviewing Jerry Seinfeld, and said Jerry was like, do you know what you're even talking about? Now I think there was a little bit of familiarity there, which made it funnier, but it was basically kind of exposed, the fact that Larry would just have people on and talk to him and wouldn't be particularly prepared.
Shout out to Ed Bradley. People like that were great at what.
Well, this is what they actually did.
Yeah.
This is what now. There's also a difference because someone like Ed Bradley is a trained journalist.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
got that media training. It's different.
know, and there are people who, you know, they become good at this just through repetition, and there are some people who actually come from that school of actually trying to do. You know, like I said, Ed Bradley didn't get on 60 Minutes by accident. You know, this dude was a war journalist.
Well, I'm gonna agree to disagree on Vlad. I think he's a trash interviewer because he talks about him. He talks if there's
something that applies to him, yes. But when he's talking to Smokey Robinson, like I said, I'd say watch the interview with Smokey Robinson.
If there's 5 minutes in the clip,
because those stories from old Motown are fantastic.
If there's 5 minutes in the clip, he's talking about himself for 3 of them. That's trash to me.
I've never seen that.
I didn't come here.
He doesn't.
He does that all the time.
Not if he's talking to no.
He'll be like, well, you know, I think. I didn't come here for that. I came to hear XYZ talk. I don't care what you think.
He does that with maybe Boosie because it's it's a couple friends talking, but
he's trash.
But when he's talking to
he's trash.
When he's talking to Grant Cardone or when he's talking to what's the guy who was when he sat down to talk to Sammy the Bull? No, he was not doing that.
He didn't use his black accent with Sammy the Bull either.
No.
Just thought I'd throw that out.
Just say you don't like Vlad, man.
Yeah, I mean that'd be a lot easier to say.
It's noted. Yeah, I don't.
No,
I don't.
From someone.
So everybody following along at home, this is what this is actually what you would consider hating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not just talking about stuff.
And like I said, I have in my short radio career. Well, actually, it was a lot longer, but you add in public radio. Been lucky enough to sit down and talk to certain celebrities, and it's not easy, especially if you're doing it off the fly, where I remember the time I interviewed Donnell Jones, shout out to him. It was literally, I saw the record rep from Arista in the hallway at the station. They were talking, I was like, hey, I want to interview Donell Jones. And they were like, well, we're not sure. I was like, you know what? You're interviewed over there. They're not even playing that record. We got the record medium rotation. We get it. Like I have had the power to put it in heavy rotation. But I said, we're actually playing the record.
Bring him over here.
So they brought him over. We did a real quick interview. He was actually very, very cool. So shout out to Donell Jones. But, I've been lucky enough to actually sit and interview one of my favorite reviews. I wish I had a copy of it. I got to sit down and talk to Gerald Levert.
Now that's cold.
And you know what? He didn't know me from a can of paint. It was a phoner. But I tell you what, couldn't have been a nicer guy.
Some people are like this. Some people like some interviews.
Sometimes it's interviews hard because the person you're interviewing is a piece of whatever,
or they just don't have any like media training, or they're tired that day, or I remember there's certain people that I've interviewed where the interviews are great. We never put out the 𝗏𝗏𝗧 interview, but that was a great interview because it turned out that him and my brother were born in the same town.
The Moonchild one either.
The Moonchild.
They're actually about to be here again.
Yeah. So
are they coming back?
Yeah, they're going to be back here.
Gotta go see them.
But that one was good. But I interviewed 𝗏𝗏𝗧 was really good. He was super talkative. But there was another person that I talked to that he was either tired or didn't have anything to say, and it was like super awkward. And I was just like, well, this is not good.
Yo, low key. If you go back through some of the interviews that we have, we've had some
good names.
I'm saying like Odyssey was cool. We caught him at a good time in between transition, getting ready for the show. But he was cool. Like Pharoah Monch was cool. Like he wasn't rushed.
Olivier St. Louis was really cool.
Yeah, like
Rob Swift. I watched that interview like a week ago. I was like, he was very cool to do that.
Yeah, and we've been lucky for the most part in terms of the people, of certain stature that we've actually had a chance to sit down with. I guess we caught him at the right time, but I personally haven't had that yet. But I know, Lone, you said you've gone through it, or you
were probably there. It was
I there?
The second. Well, I'm not going to throw him out there like that, but I'm pretty sure you were there. It was other people were on that same bill, and so we never ended up putting the interview out. But it was short, anyways. He was a super cool guy.
Yeah,
but it was just
But there's, to your point though, there's mad variables, man. Like somebody might have a cold, somebody might have got 2 hours of sleep, somebody, you know what I mean? Like
for sure. And
crazy performance.
People deal with stuff differently. I mean, when I sat down and talked to 𝗏𝗏𝗧, he literally just flew in from Mexico,
right?
From playing like down there, and then he got in. He's like, I'm gonna do my best. You know what I mean? But you could tell, but you could tell that he had the training to promote and to do those things, and he was enthusiastic. It was his personality.
Like
I can respect that.
Like
I can
when
respect
you go
that.
and watch before the Breakfast Club was as big as it was, and they would just send anybody up there. I think you could tell where there was almost like a line of demarcation to where you can tell, okay, there's no media training, there's no A&Ring going on. We're just sending these young people up here on this major platform in the #1 media market in the world, and they have no idea what to do when asked a question. Like,
good luck.
The first time they sent, I think it was like Chief Keef, and I
think Ray J was the first one on there.
Was Ray J?
No, that was like one of the first big interviews. But like, I'm talking about when they started sending people. Like the Migos used to be terrible to interview.
Remember Kodak? Was it Kodak Black that was in an interview? With
hope so.
Yeah.
That was later on though.
That was actually a funny interview.
No, that was But now they used to these kids from wherever, they had a hot viral moment, and they're like, okay, now we're going to put the lights on you, and they have given them absolutely no training, and it does a disservice to the artist.
We've talked about that before, though, in terms of
the training doesn't exist anymore.
It's over. Like, that's a wrap.